Hey guys, want to give a heads up before we start this episode. This is our new weekly breakdown / review of the Halo TV series. So we will be spoiling heavily. So if you have not started Halo, I would recommend turning this off immediately. We're doing episode 1 right now, but this will be at the beginning of every episode. So obviously, as episodes go on, just pay attention to which episode it is. And if you haven't watched that, then I would recommend turning this off because we'll be breaking down each episode and reviewing it and also speaking about the Halo games. So if you are wanting to play the Halo stories or the Halo campaign and care about the stories, I'd recommend not watching or listening to these either. So without further ado, we'll get into the episode here. Welcome to the Current Backloggers. I am your host, KCP, along with my good friend and co-host, Aaron C. We're here for another episode review of Halo TV series.
The
final
finale.
episode. Yep.
Jinx.
Well, hopefully not the final episode in this series, but series finale at least.
Yeah.
We'll see
Season
if
1 has ended.
they confirmed season 2, but you never know. So
Yeah, you just can never tell these days.
before we get into it, as we always say, if you could like this video, comment, we appreciate it. Subscribe, share, all that jazz.
Comment high reviews.
Yeah.
Comment what you thought of the season.
Yeah, as a whole, this episode, let's hear it all.
Yeah.
Let's go out with a bang, as they say, right?
Right.
Is there anything from the last episode you want to talk about before we get into it?
Not really about the last episode, but I got some fun. We talked about some Blessed One Chief ship names.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about them at the beginning of this episode. I have 5, and it was really hard to actually do this. So, do you want to go first, or you want me to?
I'll go first because, as I told you, nobody listening knows this, but you remind me of day, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So I tried hard to think, but I feel like I've already had the best ones stolen by other people. Not that I would have thought of them, but the best ones have already been said. We'll see what you say. The only one I thought of, I can't say it's good. I cringe thinking about it, but instead of well, here it'd be Machif, like mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty terrible. And Works is like, oh, we're just a cute couple, but we're a little crazy at the same time. So that's what I got.
I got you.
I'm excited to hear your 5.
Yeah, so this took a lot. I probably spent an hour on this. Like, I was really thinking. But, so the first one I came up with was Mick John.
Mm.
You know, McKee. You cut the...
Sounds like a terrible McDonald's product.
Yeah, so Mick John. John Key. Master McKee. Bless Chief. And Chief McKee.
Yeah, those are all pretty good. Somebody said the Blessed Chief, right?
Yeah, I had that, but I did these last week, so I feel like
Oh, okay.
I had that
good.
first.
No, you're good.
But
I felt like I heard that one because I was going to say I would have.
I think that's probably the most common one, Bless Chief. I think it works the most.
No, I gotcha.
But we'll learn later in this episode. Rest in peace to the Blessed One.
Yeah.
Their romance was short, but it was strong.
Well, thank you for bringing such strong contenders. I'm sorry I lacked so hard. Everybody else, if you want to chime in, if you have more, feel free to comment.
Yeah, comment your ship name for them.
And then should we get into this episode? Transcendence, episode 9, the season finale.
Yeah. There was only one more thing.
I'll go for it.
This will be useful later in the episode, but the Mjolnir armor, it gives Spartans ability to run around 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So that's a key point for this episode in a certain scene.
Captain Keys. That's what I was saying. I think one of the first episodes we watched when people were criticizing how over the top Spartans were, and they're like jumping 1,000 feet in the air, not literally, but all over the place, like kind of like monkeys. And I think, like I said, that's fair to a point. If you only play the games, you don't really know much, but that's always what the Spartans were supposed to be, like over the top, but the games couldn't handle at the time because engines were so simplified and games weren't that advanced. So it's cool seeing them following through with what it was supposed to be like.
Yeah, and even like when they fall from like just like they jump out of ships and just land without a parachute. Their bone structure is actually way stronger, and then the armor also on top of it gives them the ability to do that. And they're already insanely strong and basically Captain America on steroids, if you can imagine that, because he's like the perfect human, but they're probably even stronger than him. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
the armor does other stuff too, and I mean we could do more on that, but that was just a fun fact.
Anything else before we get into it?
Well, let's get into episode 9.
Transcendence. All right, I have it waking up with John. He's in his Mass Effect outfit, and he's waking up from the blast from the prior episode.
Yep.
From the artifact.
The destruction of the artifact is pretty massive.
Yeah. Mass effect, if you will. And then, feel free to add anything as always. Next thing I had was Miranda tells Keyes, as in Captain Keyes, I should say. Is that right? Okay. I already messed up my notes. Miranda tells Keyes McKee took the artifact.
Oh, I think... Wait. I have that she told John that. Or maybe I missed something. No, that's what happened.
Yeah, it's John. All these keys get mixed up. Even McKee is a key, even though it's not.
Too many keys.
Yeah.
They must be on key.
She tells John that's correct, because that lines up with my other notes here. Did you want to add anything before we keep going, though?
That's what I had for that. He just tells him that McKee is dipped.
Yeah.
She got the artifact.
Yeah. And then we see her with it, and she's kind of going through some corridors and shoots a guard, try and make her way out with the artifact. McKee, that is, I should clarify.
Just bang. Just boom, he's dead.
Yeah. And Chief's trying to find her, and that's where I saw that had to be what that note was, because he's on his way to try and find her. And then he runs into Silver Team instead, though.
Yeah, and then before that, after she shoots the one Marine, she has the other one take her to the ship. Yeah. And then it goes back to John and Silver Team.
Yeah, so he meets up with them, and they're a little suspicious of him. Bannock has a gun pointed at Kai.
Yep.
And seems like everything's kind of falling apart for Silver Team and kind of going after each other, as they've been kind of building up these last couple episodes to that. And then John tells Bannock that Halsey kidnapped them, and told him the whole backstory of what we've heard these past few episodes about it.
Yeah, and Bannock is just like, no.
Yeah.
That ain't true. Doesn't believe him at all.
Yeah, so that's what I wrote my note is. He doesn't believe it. And then that's until Captain Keyes comes in with Miranda and says it's all true. And you can see Miranda's not very pleased by this, because
she's pissed.
Yeah, she hears about this and didn't know that her dad was in on it.
Yeah, he helped abduct the Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
He selected them also, so abducted, selected, and he helped erase their memories on top of it.
Yep.
So once he said it was true, Bannock was like, the fuck?
Yeah, he pretty much immediately lowered his gun after he said that.
Yeah, he was like, oh, Master Chief's not lying.
Yeah.
Even though him and Chief are like really good friends, or they should be, since they've, known each other since they were 6.
Yeah.
But Bannock's like, oh, I can't trust him, even though he's the Master Chief. But he still didn't trust him.
And then they say McKee is probably heading for the Covenant ship that we, I think, mentioned last episode that they had. I think.
Also, Chief tells Bannock if the Covenant get the artifact, they will lose the war.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
He ain't lying.
I can't remember if it was last episode or 2 episodes ago that we noticed that Covenant ship that UNSC had, but
I think it was last episode.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like that was a reason they showed that out of nowhere like that, I guess now we see.
Yeah, because she can just jump in it and dip.
Uh-huh. And then Kai responds, you go there, or you 3 go there, I want Halsey. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Also, I kind of like Scooby-Doo logic. I feel like best to stick together, but yes, split up.
Kai was like, nah, y'all go. I don't care about the blessed one. She has the artifact. That's more important. She was like, nope, I want Halsey.
Yeah.
Like, it's revenge time.
And then you see Miranda again, seeming not very pleased with
Yeah,
her
she's
dad.
so disgusted. And she just walks away. She's like, I cannot believe this man right now. He's as bad as Halsey, pretty much.
And then it cuts to a bunch of Marines surrounding Halsey's ship, and probably hundreds of Marines around the ship.
Yeah, and they were like, we'll open fire if you don't come out here.
Yeah.
And, Aiden is trying to get Halsey to leave, but she wants to know who touched the artifact because she saw the energy signatures. Yeah. But I don't know if you noticed this. I watched this episode 3 times.
Oh, did you?
So the third watch, I didn't catch this the other 2 times, but the third watch, Aiden says the package is secure and that they still have options. And I was like, what does that mean? You know? Like, what's the package? So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't catch
for
that.
Later points in the episode, like, kind of makes what we see of Halsey kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. So they have a package.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah.
And then it cuts to the Spartans, or Silver Team, running after the ship, and they just miss it as the blessed one gets on it. And
yeah, she's just
takes
like,
off.
Woo, bye. The ship is blessed because it has the blessed one on it.
Bam.
Anything she touches is blessed.
And then this kind of just a whole section of ships taking off. Halsey's ship starts to take off. And then you see Kai running fucking light year speed out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I don't know. There was another scene before that with Keyes and Parangoski. And Keyes tells them to track the Covenant ship and put pelicans in the air. A little small scene before that.
Yeah.
But then, then Kai sees Halsey's ship taking off and runs like quick. That nice fun fact at the beginning. 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, no, I think this scene's really cool. I feel like a lot of people might laugh at it and think it's silly, but I thought this scene was really fucking cool. And
it was epic.
Yeah.
Full Spartan armor and running. Like, she was running quick. She caught up to the ship and just jumps on it, lands perfectly. Full Spartan style.
And she gets inside the ship and starts kind of interrogating Halsey and asking her what her real name is.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that part I didn't like. So she's on the ship. They try to close the door to, like, where Halsey and Aiden are. They try to close the door, and Kai's just, like, ripping it open, which was cool. Shows her strength. But then when she gets in, she's like, what's my real name?
I know, yeah.
I was like,
it's a little cheesy.
I was like, what? Like, that's what you want to ask her?
Yeah, there seems to be a trend of that. John's like, you can answer anything, right, Cortana? Yes, anything, literally anything in the world. And then what he asked was
his adoption.
Yeah.
Tell me about my adoption. Like, why does it matter? Like, you're past that. But the line responding to Kai was even worse.
What did she say? I didn't put in here. I remember.
I got the quotes right here. You are exactly who you are meant to be. I was like, is this Disney? Did we just pull up a Disney movie? I feel like we're watching Hercules and Somewhere I Belong or something's about to play. I was like, what? But I think she said it like that to distract her from Aiden.
Yeah, he's had enough of asking what her name is, and he grabs a golf club and smacks her in the back of the head. I don't think it's actually a golf club, but some kind of pole or something.
Some object that he just found, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm Aiden. I can hit a Spartan and not die. Well.
And not only does he die, she grabs him and, like, bounces him off the table and then slams his head into, like, a light fixture above it and just slams down on the table. And I thought he was still going to be alive and, like, kind of crawling around, but then it cuts to blood on his face and his eyes are just dead-eyed.
Yeah, he's just dead.
I was like, oh.
Like,
I don't care. He's been pointless and hasn't. I feel like the only thing he's added was humor and not in an intentionally good way. So
yeah, just a creepy. He's just a creepy guy. That's what I knew him as for a while. I didn't even know his name, and then I learned it. And Kai puts an end to Aiden.
Yeah, which I was totally okay with. And
it was actually funny. I laughed when he died.
It was unexpected, but I didn't have an issue with it.
I was like, well, she's got to get her revenge on somebody, and obviously Aiden keeps helping Halsey, so.
Yeah.
Aiden hit her. She was like, oh, it's over. Which, he should have shot her if he was going to do anything to her. Why are you hitting a Spartan? You're way weaker. Did nothing.
So, then Halsey sees her chance to run and takes off and gets an escape pod. And again, we have more ships taking off as her escape pod takes off.
You see that Keyes wanted them to start up an EMP?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, try and take down all the electrical and take her down.
Yeah.
And then the ship that she was originally on, the Kai is still on, starts to go down.
Which, why? Was there... Because I didn't really see where it was damaged that badly. All Kai did was shoot it with a pistol.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's all kind of like emergency sounds and lights going off, but yeah, I can't really think of what triggered it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that pistol is crazy powerful like it is in the games and just totally wrecked the ship. But I didn't see anything else unless they did that on purpose because later in the episode.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, oh, why is the ship going down?
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually. So then the ship crashes and there's a fake moment where I don't know if we're actually supposed to believe that Kai died. I don't know about you, but I didn't think for a second.
I feel like they felt like we were supposed to be like, oh, she's dead, because like it crashes pretty badly. But nope, she just crawls up and she's fine.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done that if they approached it differently. Because like I said, I thought they might kill her last episode. I think that's another thing that made me think that she wasn't going to die, because I feel like that would have been time to do it.
Yeah.
But then also, it just seemed way too anticlimactic. I was like, there's no way you just kind of missed it and then pans out and then she's dead.
Yeah, there's no way. And like she's in full armor. I think she had her helmet on. Maybe she had her helmet on. So she could survive a crash like that, because we saw Chief do it in an earlier episode when he just made a Covenant ship crash into another ship. So
yeah, so she climbs up on the ledge. Everybody sees she's okay. And then it pans into John, and he says, Cortana, I'm going to need you now. And then hits the intro, which I think, obviously I didn't look this up and go back, but I feel like this is definitely the longest we've had till we got to an intro, which I thought was cool to get it so late.
Yeah, it was like 9 minutes in or so.
Yeah.
It was a really good introduction to the episode. I was like, ooh.
That's why I think the late intro worked so well.
Yeah, it was very suspenseful when it came on. And it was like, oh, he needs Cortana now.
Yeah.
Are they going to be friends? Justice for Cortana? Maybe? Just a little bit?
We'll see. So the next thing I had after coming back from the intro is John watching surveillance footage of McKee. Did you have anything?
Yeah, it's just her taking the artifact.
Yeah.
He asked Cortana if Halsey asked the Blessed One to steal the artifact, which she says yes, and the Blessed One said that she would not take it. And then Parangoski is all like, she just wanted it for herself. And yeah, that was that scene pretty much.
There was one vital thing you missed here. In the surveillance footage, you finally get a view of the Blessed One in the leggings, and it was glorious.
I did miss that.
Oh, you did? All 3 times?
Yeah.
Jesus. Why do I pay you to be on here?
Woo. Don't get paid enough.
That's true. Yeah, I had some dialogue in here. Oh, yeah, I remember why. So the line you're talking about with McKee refusing it, I think Parangoski says, I should put this part in here, she asked why John trusts her.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, she was honest with me, at least for a little while. I could feel it. And I was like, I know they're not talking about the sex, but this definitely sounds like the sex. And then it just got way worse because I was in my head. And then Cortana says, I believe the Master Chief is right. And then Parangoski says, oh, and did you feel it as well? And then Cortana says, in my own way, yes, ma'am. And then that just made me think of her sitting there watching them.
Oh, my God.
I know it's not what they were doing, but since I got in my head, I was like, God damn it. And the way everybody's saying everything, like their delivery sounds like they would be talking about that. I was like, this isn't supposed to be about that at all, but this whole scene just got ruined for me.
I didn't even think about that. But that might ruin the scene for me, too.
I didn't think about it the first time. I think when I was just more concentrating, already watched it to not be like, oh, what's going to happen next? Just kind of like paying attention to dialogue and everything's where it stuck out to me more.
Well, that's fantastic.
The next thing I had was, you probably have more detail about this, but them figuring out about the Covenant planet.
Yeah, did you get the name? I typed it, but it's not the right spelling.
I actually was going to ask you if you had it, because I feel like I never saw it or heard it. It's like, I feel like I had to miss it.
It's Aspero? Something like that. It starts with an A, ends with an O. I didn't get the actual spelling because they say it like once.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was mainly wondering because I was trying to figure out if it was something that was already lore or not. Or
I don't think it is. I think it's just put for the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do. Chief asks Cortana to bring up the system that the planet's in. And Chief talks about the Covenant prophecy, where the stars sparkle like glass. It's where the planet is, or the halo is, or something like. He says something along those lines.
Yeah, which I thought glass was weird after them making such a big point out of glassing. I feel like it's getting confused. People are just like watching it as an everyday person.
Yeah.
Like, wait, so they destroyed the planet?
Or wait, what's going on? Glass?
Yeah.
What? Uh-huh. But then Cortana explains something called kaleidoscopic effect, something like that. I didn't get it was hard to spell, and I'm doing notes, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna look this up, and I paused it to try and spell it. But she says basically there's like a thing around the planet that makes it look like glass, but then past that glass is probably the planet, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything more, but
no, I thought it was interesting. That was their reason for not knowing where the Covenant planet was at.
It makes sense because it's hidden by that field. Like you can't pick up a planet behind it, basically.
Yeah.
But because Chief figured out that prophecy, he was like, "All right, I got this," and Cortana helped him.
And that's next thing I had was that gets him to finally get the suit on, no helmet, but the beautiful music kicks in. And I think it's probably the best music beat they've had yet. I don't know if you remember it when he.
Oh yeah, but also before that, this is pretty cool to me. Parangoski is like, she will send the Marines. 10 battalions. Then John's all like, you send 10,000 Marines, you lose 10,000 Marines. Silver Team can do it. And I was like, oh, he's a badass. So that was cool.
Yeah, no, I noticed that as well. I should have put it in there. So yeah, then you have him in his suit, no helmet, but
he's getting ready.
Yeah, and the music kicks in, and I noticed this a few times, especially in this episode. I mentioned it before that I think the music in the show has been consistently good throughout, but I know a lot of people complain that there's not enough Halo in this, me included. But it's weird. The music is one of the things I haven't really thought about because the music is so good overall. But I think moments when the true Halo music kicks in is when I realize, again, like the true potential of this. And even though the other music is good, it's good, but in any other sci-fi show, it doesn't feel like Halo. So I think when this music kicks in, you just start to feel it right away.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds corny, but it's true. I got chills at that point. I was like, oh, shit. And I think it would help if they had more of that kind of stuff to make it feel more like Halo.
Yeah, they could really... Like, music you can really flex with.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, Halo music is great in the video games. Like, it's amazing. I'll just put the title screen on and sit there and listen to it.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird that, like I said, I don't dislike the music that they chose instead, but I don't know why you would do that, and I think I haven't disliked it because it fits in any other sci-fi show, but it just fits in there. I'm never like, ooh, this song's badass. I notice that when the actual Halo songs come in,
right?
And even those aren't, you might notice they're not the true Halo songs because it's not the same composer. You can kind of hear that's a little different, but
it's like a rip-off.
Yeah,
not like a rip. Like it's just.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think it sounds really good. Just you can tell it's a little different, like a different style. It doesn't sound like a knockoff band to me. It sounds like a different style, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, but they could. I mean, Halo. Like, I was thinking about great tracks, but the last mission of Halo 3. If you haven't played it, go play it.
Oh, yeah.
And listen to the music because it's amazing. It's all fast paced. I can't do it, I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I can hear it in my head, like when he's holding the helmet and the song playing. But I was like, I'm not gonna. This movement's so badass and gave me chills, and I'm just gonna. Whoa. Yep.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do it. It's cool. Trust me.
It is. It's awesome.
But next thing I had was not important, but it was the chief talking to Captain Keyes.
Oh, there was something right before. I had something before that.
Yeah, go for it.
As he's putting that helmet on, because it kind of pans away, but Parangoski tells him he hasn't been himself lately, and that when he walks into the battlefield, that John has to cease to exist. Only the Master Chief can.
Yeah. He hasn't put the helmet on yet, though. He's still carrying it at that point because it comes in later. But no, I know. Yeah.
But she was saying that because, like, you can't hold back. Like, you're going into Covenant space. You got to beat the shit out of every single grunt you see.
Yeah, I thought about putting that in here because I feel like that's interesting when something happens later that we'll talk about. But the next thing I had with him talking to Keyes was, I think it was Keyes. He was talking about.
Yeah, it was Keyes.
He kept saying there will be a reckoning, and I said it when we were all watching together. I don't know if you got the reference of Papa John's. I don't know if you remember when the owner of Papa John's, the guy that always called Papa John, when he got fired and he had an interview, and he said the day of reckoning will come, and he just kept saying it, and it became a meme. So when he said that, I was like, oh no. I feel like if I didn't know that line would have been fine, maybe a little cheesy.
Yeah.
But go look at the Papa John video. He'll become instantly funny to you, even retroactively.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh man, it was big for a little bit there. Did you have anything else from that?
The only thing I had from that conversation was that Keyes tells John that they found Halsey's escape pod, so they're about to capture her. And he also says that there isn't an apology he can give that will change what they've done. And that's when Chief says there will be a reckoning, but not today.
Yeah.
So I feel like Keyes understands that he messed up.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I think he definitely is sorry for what happened, but I think he's kind of like, oh, it already happened. I can only go forward from that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Chief forgives him and he doesn't get reckoned. But hopefully Halsey maybe does instead of Keyes. But yeah. We'll see.
Then the rest of the Spartans get on the Pelican with Chief.
Helmets off.
Yep. They
all carrying them.
I was going to say, I didn't have theirs listed because they were more consistent. I'm okay with you mentioning it because I thought about putting it in here.
Yeah.
But I feel like Chief was the most glaring, and obviously he's the most glaring anyways because he's the main character.
Yeah.
But theirs weren't as bad, but something that I feel like, I don't know if we talked about, but I felt like we should have, is they definitely do it, obviously, the most with Chief, but then next with Kai, and I feel like it's because those two have their chips out, so they're trying to make them the most human.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's eventually going to happen with the other two, because I feel like that's the only thing that's keeping their helmets on more, which I feel like sucks because I feel like the coolest parts when they have their helmets.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, all of them with helmets on is the coolest thing. I had a thought. Completely blanked.
I've been there.
We'll just move on. Maybe it'll come back to me.
All right. Next thing I had was shows Halsey running in a field.
Oh, also I had a small conversation between Vanek and Kai. It was after when they were walking in, and Kai asked Vanek if he would have shot her, and he was like, yes. And then Kai just mentions that Riz and Vanek are cold people, pretty much. But they have their their chips are in. So, yeah. My thought came back, but I'll finish this. Hold on. And then Vanek asked Kai if Kai would have shot Vanek and Riz, and Kai says yes. I would have just felt bad about it. It's just a fun banter back and forth.
Yeah.
But obviously Vanek's like, I don't care. It's orders. I'll shoot you. Shoot you right now. But my other thought is, aren't there 30 plus Spartans?
Or
more?
It depends on what time period, and definitely depends what timeline this is, because obviously they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know in this timeline if these are last Spartans or what, because I don't feel like they've specified in the show at all.
Yeah, because in the book, I'm still reading Fall of Reach, because reading takes forever. But I'm a little bit more than halfway, but I feel like the number was 60 maybe a little bit less of kids that were selected for the Spartan program. So I'm just curious how many, like, was it only 5? Or were there more in this timeline?
Well, I mean, they showed way more, not that, I'm sure it's like the Army, not that all of them make it through, but when they showed us camp, there was like hundreds of kids.
Oh, okay.
So in the, those are flashbacks, they would show like hundreds of kids there, but like I'm sure it's like the military where not everybody makes it through.
Right.
But yeah, you would think those wouldn't be the only ones, but I don't know what timeline.
Yeah, because that's the only ones we've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Just a thought that I had when
when
you said about the group of 4. I was like, well,
Yeah.
are there more? Because we know Soren, obviously.
Yeah.
But are there other Spartans that have, defected like Soren, or are they just off doing something else? But we only see those 4. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, you never know. They could bring that in season 2.
And it would be weird if there weren't more, unless they just ended the program or all of those other kids bailed out, because, like we talked about, it seems unclear. It's seeming a little more clear now about what this timeline is, like if the Covenant aren't really a threat or if they're not prevalent in the universe. Because, like I said, it's become a little more clear now that it seems like that's just now starting to happen. So you'd have to wonder what happened to all the Spartans, because you would assume it would be something like that to check out a planet or something.
Yeah.
But that appears like that hasn't really happened, besides the one that we saw in this episode.
The last episode.
And they didn't imply that there were Spartans or anything.
No, at all.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But I don't know if my facts are completely right, but Halo 3 is Chief the last Spartan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what they tell you.
And then Halo 5 more come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell because the title or the cover is 2 Spartans staring at each other, so that's how I know that. But so he's the last one.
Yeah.
Got it.
The next thing I have was Halsey running through a field, and then a ton of Marines are chasing after her, and then they finally catch her.
Yeah, she doesn't run very fast.
No, yeah, it's kind of like hot girl in a horror movie run. Where she
she had her arms up,
Yeah.
and she was just kind of running around, and I was like, oh, they're going to catch her.
Yeah.
This is a pathetic escape, Halsey.
So then they bring her in, and then it cuts to a very different view of this Covenant planet, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I had one more point before that. They brought Halsey in handcuffs. They're like big handcuffs. She's dangerous, Gotta make sure she's secure. But Miranda asks Captain Keyes if Halsey has said anything, and Captain Keyes says no. And then Keyes tries to talk to her, but she just walks away. So their relationship is it's rocky right now.
Rocky.
Unfortunately, we didn't get Rocky in this episode or the after show, but season 2.
So then it cuts to the Covenant planet with a ton of elite zealots, which was badass to see.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, they're all very Halo 2 like, where they're like lining the aisle, where the blessed one is walking down with another elite, and he's holding an artifact. And they make their way to the prophets, and the prophets talk about the great journey.
Yeah.
And how soon begin.
And we finally saw Regret.
Yeah.
They actually, he's blessed one calls him Regret, and I was like, oh, it's Regret. But Mercy and Regret. The other one didn't say much. I don't think he said anything, actually. He just sat there. So.
Yeah, but like you said, we finally had dialogue, at least from somebody else besides them sitting there. I was like, did they not pay enough, or what happened here?
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know until we watched the after show. We were talking about how good they looked compared to the elites in the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
I guess it explains it, because they're like not puppets, but like, I don't know, morphed together and humans inside.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was like a robot type thing with the prophet suit on them. It's like practical effects. So I feel like that you can always make practical things look better sometimes than CGI.
Yeah, it was cool though, because they said I wouldn't have guessed it was practical. I just thought it was good CGI.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, which was odd.
So that the after show, sometimes it's cringy, but it is worth giving a watch because they have cool small details like that. If you're into, how things are made for shows and movies, stuff like that.
That's my favorite thing. And then you get Sidney Goodman, which that's good as well. And then, it is cringy, but I feel like that just adds to the charm. I love it.
Oh, it's just fun to laugh at. And then there's just some cool stuff that you hear from the actors and actresses. Sometimes cool, sometimes you're like, what? But it's enjoyable, to say the least. Kind of like the show.
Yeah.
After show is kind of like the actual show.
So the Blessed One asked Mercy if she is not part of the plan for the Great Journey. And he says, there's always a place for the Blessed One, which I think we can all relate to on that.
Yeah. Also, did you hear, Regret sees the artifact, but he's like, you didn't bring the demon's head.
Yeah.
So Regret doesn't like her.
Yeah, that's, I think they say a little more about that here later.
Yeah, they do later.
And then while she's asking this, kind of like on her knees talking to him, and she sees her fingers revealed and then hides it where she removed her energy nail. And I feel like we talked about last episode. I feel like that was kind of a hint that she still was trying to be good, or at least dealing with it.
She's like, I think she's definitely contemplating exactly where she fits in all this.
Yeah.
Because obviously she hasn't been around humans very much. Like when she was a kid, she was, but then after that, she wasn't. So then she gets, transported back, meets John. I think she's rethinking some things.
Yeah. Next thing I had, let me know if you have anything before, was all the Spartans on the Pelican together. And do you have anything there? I had some.
Let's see. Cortana talking to Chief. Is that your next point?
Yeah, you might have more. The main bit I grabbed here was she said Halsey was going to give me full control of your mind and body, and you would cease to exist, and I would take over. And then she said, I was always the plan, and I was designed to do. Or that's what was always the plan, and that's what I was designed to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yikes. I mean, we all kind of thought that, but Chief obviously didn't know that.
Right. And then John asked why she didn't, and she basically explains that only John could activate the artifacts. But once the Blessed One showed up, it didn't matter. Like, they had her to activate it, so then Cortana could take over. In the last episode, that's what Halsey told Cortana to do.
Yeah, which I put the quote in here that Cortana said to him. She said, because I was designed to learn, which I did from you, which I don't know if she's not very good at learning or if she's oblivious, because he didn't teach her any of those things. I was like, wait, were you with the same John that we were?
Huh. Yeah, we were with the John that was rude to Cortana, and I mean, just watch the series. Like, it's not very nice to Cortana. So if I was Cortana, I'd be like, bet, I'm taking him over.
Yeah. That's why. Wait a second. This seems like odd dialogue.
Yeah.
Did you have anything before Miranda starts interrogating Halsey?
Wait, hold on. Yes, I did. It was when they started going through that, like, star field glass thing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have a lot for this. But basically they just have to fly in a straight line or they get spaghettified. And Vanek did not like that. He was like, oh, that doesn't sound great. I don't know exactly what he said, but that's basically what he said. And I didn't really know how to describe this scene.
Yeah, that's why I actually didn't put anything. But if you got anything, I'll feel free to add.
So that's basically, they just go through and there's just like, the ship is like, the electrical stuff is going out and they lose Cortana at one point. But then they get through. And John was confident the whole time. He was like, yeah, we got this. And that's pretty much it. They find the planet.
Yeah, I guess I did have one thing. I'm glad you said that. I scrolled past it. When the electric was going out and everything, Cortana was kind of helping. That seemed a lot like the games to me too, how she's like narrating to him what to do.
Yeah.
That felt a lot like the games. I like that.
Yeah, but once they lost her, it was like, oh no, they don't have Cortana.
Uh-huh.
But then she comes back and she's like, I think we found something. And she's like pointing. And I was like, Cortana. Cortana's very soothing.
Yeah.
Just because it's the actual voice actress. So anytime she's in it a lot, it's like, oh, yes, Cortana. So Cortana is 10 out of 10 for me. 10 Haas. 10 Haas for Cortana.
All right, so then we have Miranda interrogating Halsey. And
for some reason, I have Halsey sitting in a tray, but I know I meant chair.
I have that here. Well, I thought I added dialogue. Do you have anything?
I do. Miranda says she never thought she would see the day when the great, I think she says her first name, but Catherine Halsey was held responsible for her actions. And then she tells her what they basically came up with charges for Halsey, and it was kidnapping and treason. That's what they... Obviously, she kidnapped a bunch of children, so it's a little suspicious, if you ask me. And then treason... Not really sure what the treason is, because I feel like they gave Halsey the go-ahead with this, but I think they're just trying to kind of frame her and get her out of everything.
Yeah.
So the treason's kind of made... Kidnapping, yeah, she's guilty. And I think that's all I really had. And then Captain Keyes is actually watching the whole interaction in those chairs where you put the little... whatever that thing is.
And they become a hologram. It threw me off again. You might remember Riley started laughing so hard, and he was just standing there. The fuck is it? His controller dead? He's just standing there. And I was like, oh god, this stupid thing again. I don't know why they're doing. Why can't? I mean, I get it's a hologram, but does it not have movement? Why does it like walk around the room? And be like, all right, I'm gonna listen to you guys. Just stands there robotically.
Yeah,
it's a little awkward.
I don't like those machines. I don't know why they put them in the show.
Yeah.
Are those in? I don't think those are in a Halo game.
Oh no.
So that's just completely made up. But yeah, he's just listening. I think Miranda says something else about how they're not going to banish Halsey. But I'm not exactly sure what else she says. But they said she's too dangerous to banish is basically what they came up with.
Kind of like the banished in Halo Infinite.
Sadly, I haven't played Halo Infinite, but
yeah, that's not a spoiler. They do that, say that in the trailers. That's why I won't say anything more than that.
Soon I will. I'll play it soon.
So then we go back to the prophets, and this is what we were referencing earlier. They're talking to each other, and they're talking about the blessed one, and they say, she has soiled our world too much with her presence. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Be blessed? What are you talking about?
And then they say that she will burn along with her own species. And I was like,
damn.
Yeah. And in her mind, she said, all right, let's go on this great journey with them.
Yeah, and she's like putting on her ceremony robes and like getting all ready, and it's like, oh, they're getting rid of you, blessed one. Get out of there, run. But yeah, I was like, geez. And Mercy, he acted like he cared about the blessed one, but him and Regret have some plans.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I thought it was fucking great that they just didn't give a shit as much as I like her. I was just like, Jesus. And also, even though I hate it at the same time, I liked it because we talked in the earlier episodes how ridiculous it was that these things are like all-knowing and like the highest beings, but yet they're like, oh yes, master, generic female.
Yeah, right.
We'll abide by you. So I like that it was all kind of BS. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're just gonna fucking kill her.
Oh yeah, they're just using her to get to the weapon.
Yeah,
they don't care about her at all. They're gonna murder her, maybe. We don't know yet.
So, like you said, you get to see her in her like ceremony wardrobe thing.
Yeah, that she was wearing back in like episode 1, 2.
Well, first she gets on like this gown thing that's real sexy, and then the burrito outfit comes in later.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, all right, now we're back to it. But then
burrito outfit is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the opposite of sex. It's like, but we'll just skip to
it's like mega church clothes.
We'll skip to the Pelican coming in, and the whole silver team's there. and Master Chief finally puts on his helmet.
Yes, helmets on.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody's got them on.
That's what
they all look really badass.
Oh, yeah.
Cortana tells them that there aren't any ground defenses. And they're just all like, wait, what? Isn't this supposed to be like a Covenant holy planet?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't see any. And that comes in later.
Yeah, they all jump out of the ship, and fucking awesome seeing them all start superhero pounding to the ground.
It was so awesome. They're just Chief jumps first. You just get a zoom in on his helmet and just the suit in general, and he's just straight down like dolphin diving.
Dolphin dive high five.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
And then there's a ton of sleeping grunts. This is without spoiling, I like the episode as a whole, but from the moment they all put on their helmets, this is the most it felt like the game yet. And I don't think it's coincidence that this is definitely my favorite chunk of any of the series so far.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking awesome. So then
I liked it. I have some nitpicks, though.
Okay.
I'll share them as we go through it. But I did like it. No,
yeah.
It was like, I think Vanek is the one that drops in on the grunt and like smashes his face just to start, and it was so amazing.
And that part felt very video gamey, where all the sleeping grunts are there.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like picking them off one by one and finding different ways to assassinate them and take them out without them noticing.
It was so great. The first one is the jump, just lands directly on his face, and I think he stomps him or something.
I think that's later.
Okay.
I think that's when Vanek does it, and then he grabs a needle and says, "Come to daddy."
Yeah.
Which that line was ridiculous, and I liked it as like a corny thing. But then I was like, that even that is pretty gamey, because if you listen to like the background chatter, not like the main story, but they say ridiculous shit like that all the time. So even that fits into Halo, even though it sounds corny. That fits into Halo dialogue, like not the true story dialogue, but like the background chatter.
Yeah, I liked when he picked up the needler.
Yeah,
because they talked about the needler earlier in the show, and I think one of them said that's their favorite Covenant weapon. I don't know if it was Vanek or Kai.
I don't know. I feel like it would make sense if it was him, like they're trying to foreshadow.
Yeah, I think it was him, because he is in the room during that scene, but I'm not 100% sure. It's one of the two that say that's their favorite.
Yeah.
I know Kai is the one describing it in that earlier scene.
We did get to see it before this, too. Remember in the battle scene right before the Brute comes in, episode 7, I think that is, 6.
6. I think it was 6.
Yeah, they use it on the guy driving the Warthog, remember, and they explodes from.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely the closest you've seen it in battle, though. And like I said, I just love them taking off the grunts one by one and how much it.
Yeah, Kai like snipes one.
Like,
just a clean shot.
And they're making all the grunt noises that if you played Halo, are spot on. And I feel like that's a lot of those little details or things have been missing.
Yeah,
they've been there sporadically, but not nearly enough.
It was good. Yeah, I really liked it.
Did you have anything before we go figure out about Halsey?
No, just no grunt dialogue yet.
Yeah, no, ain't true.
We got the noises. We got them being goofy and just sleeping on the job, but we have not got dialogue.
Oh, I know. We haven't got that. We haven't got a wart from the elites.
Yeah, like what? Yeah. Like, come on, give us some grunt dialogue. Just them running around screaming would be perfect too, because they do that a lot in the games. Like it'll just be the middle of the battle, and the grunt just has his hands up, running around screaming, because they just give up. It's like, oh, the Spartans here, run. Or the demon, as they say.
So then we see Halsey laying on a table, surrounded by a bunch of different people, and then she starts freaking out and like spazzing out.
Just having a seizure.
Yeah. And then starts bleeding from her nose.
Seizures, man. Got them mentioned earlier in the show. That's what happened to the clones.
Yep.
They replaced the kids with.
I won't lie. I would have felt for it too, because I didn't think about it when it was happening until Miranda came in, and she was like, "That's not my mom." I was like, "Oh shit, I should have thought of this."
Yeah, and she, before she even says that, she's having the flashback of Halsey talking about the Flash clones and what happens to them because they all died of the same cause, because obviously the kids are spread around the galaxy, and so the parents are just like, "Oh, they just died."
Yeah.
So Halsey made herself into a clone to fake her death.
Which is pretty good.
Which everybody was fooled except Miranda. Like, even Parangoski was like, that's your mother. And she's like, that's not my mom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit.
Man, did you have anything before we go to Burrito Lady? Because this is where she comes in.
Oh, yeah. No, we can go to Burrito Lady.
Yeah, so...
Not Chipotle, though. Not Chipotle Burrito Lady.
So this is like the total opposite of her naked, her leggings, even her gown. She's, I won't say head to toe, but everything but the head is covered, and even that is partly covered.
It's such a weird outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it's probably Covenant made, but you would think she could have some say in the design.
Yeah.
But I guess the prophets were like, you look the best in this. Wear this burrito
maybe since
outfit.
They hate her. They're like, isn't it badass, Mickey? And she's like, yeah. And then she turns around, God, she was fucking stupid. I can't wait to kill her and her species.
I need that dialogue.
I should have mentioned it when she was in her gown. Did that give you any, like, Princess Leia slave vibes, that outfit? I feel like that's why I liked it, because there was nothing special.
The one before the burrito?
Yeah.
I could see that.
The burrito one?
No, not
the blessed one?
Yeah, burrito one.
Yeah, I was just change your name up a little. The burrito
Hashtag burrito one.
So then I think this is cuts to all the silver team, right?
Well, during the ceremony, burrito time, an elite has that smaller artifact.
Oh yeah,
and he combines it with the big one.
Yeah. I had elite running in and I was like, where is that? That's that part.
Yeah, and he causes, then it kind of cuts to silver team, but Chief can't walk as the artifacts are combined, and a grunt sees him, and Kai shoots it, but their cover is blown at that point. And then hundreds of warriors appear from underground that Cortana couldn't see, and she just tells them, she's like, Chief's like, how many? She's like, 100, 200, hundreds, and then it gets really cool.
Oh yeah, this whole scene's fucking so good, and I don't know how it could be possible unless he's got. The CGI looked way better than the first episode, and there's way more of it too, which usually causes more issues. But I can't imagine the tech got better in that short time they're making it.
Right.
But maybe they just got better at figuring out how to use the same technology. Maybe you wouldn't think they'd get people that are new to it, but I don't know. It seems like a whole different level of CGI compared to the first episode.
Yeah,
which is odd.
It looked good, and the fight as a whole, I really liked.
Yeah.
It gets crazy. Brutes. I don't think jackals were in the fight, though. Did we see any jackals? I didn't see any jackals.
Yeah, you had a whole clan of brutes drop in. Get your first look at the brute spiker.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
A lot of them had gravity hammers, too, right?
We saw that in whatever, episode 6 or 7 too, though.
Yeah.
But it's still cool to see.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Just a bunch of brutes.
I've been trying to keep my eye out for new weapons. That's why I noticed the spiker, even though it's not the most exciting weapon.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of brief, but we do see the plasma rifle. Also, if you look, you can see the blue across the battlefield. It's really like just the difference, and the purple and the blue and the green just all flying around.
I'm surprised they didn't have the what do you call it? No, I'm blanking. The brute cannon thing. I know the name.
Oh, that thing. I don't know the name of it either. But I know exactly
what bothered me so much.
I know what you're talking about, though.
I feel like that's what they're known for, so I feel like it's weird none of them dropped in with that.
Yeah.
And then you get more amazing music kicking in, and again, just made me so fucking excited. And then the next thing I had was the blessed one is looking real sad because she sees all this kind of going down, and
and what makes her really sad is some brutes jump down, but then the one from that previous episode jumps down.
Mm-hmm.
And Cortana's like, remember him? And then Chief's like, oh shit. Which I thought that was very video gamey because, I mean, that's how I would, like, if I was playing a game and a guy from earlier was a bad guy just jumped down, I'd be like, oh, shit, it's you again. So Chief is, like, ready. He's like, beat this guy. It's over this time. But Riz actually runs in first, and she gets hit with the hammer, I'm pretty sure. But then Chief starts going in, and there's, like, a first person, like, they go first person behind the helmet, and he's like shooting the brutes and punching them. And
sorry, go ahead.
But then, what makes the blessed one kind of sad is she actually sees John getting hit like a lot by the brute.
Yeah.
So I think she's really thinking in her head like, oh, how can I help? So she looks at the artifact. She touches it.
Yeah. There's two things I was going to add there. Well, actually, it's called the brute shot. It's literally just a fucking shot, and I forgot what it was called. Oh. I knew when I went to say it. That's another thing I should have wrote down.
Yeah.
But the brute shit, what is it? Should have had it in there. And then, the first person here, this was the first time I actually liked it. I thought it fit really well, and it looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just flowed really well, I think, this time.
Sometimes it's weird to go from that point of view.
Yeah.
So, at first, the first watch, I was like, oh, it's cool. But as I kept watching it, I liked it even more.
Yeah.
I think they actually did it fairly well, because you get that in some movies, and it doesn't look good at all. But I think they actually nailed it this time.
Yeah, like I said, I know you've been more positive on it. I've also... Even in Halo, I don't think they've done it. I don't think it's been terrible. I think it's been overused, and a lot of times I think it was unnecessary, but this is the first time I was just actually positive about it.
Yeah, this whole scene felt like I was in the game.
Yeah.
Which I think made it even better.
Yeah. Do you think, getting back to what you were saying, the artifact, do you think that was another sign of her trying to switch sides, or do you think it's just...
Yeah, I think she actually genuinely likes John. It's not just like, oh, I was just doing that to get the artifact. Because obviously you wouldn't just, if you're seeing someone you care about get hurt, you wouldn't just, like, if she didn't like him, she'd just be like, oh, whatever, he's going to die.
Yeah.
But she saw him specifically getting hurt and was like, okay, I gotta fix this.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Halo with McKee on there, and...
But also that giant shockwave thing happens.
Yeah, that's true.
At the same time as this is happening. So when she touches the artifact, this big shockwave just goes through the whole battlefield. All the Spartans kind of hold on to something. But that whole, like, army just gets pushed back off the ledge. And then Halo.
Yeah, with McKee and John there. And, shit, I thought I had dialogue here. Didn't they talk about... He said something about how I needed to go back, right?
Let's see. So John, he starts walking. Wait. Oh, there's something in between this. As she touches the artifact, John starts walking towards the artifact and McKee from not on Halo, but then he like falls down, and then he's back on Halo with her, and she says, "You made it." And then John asks her to send them back. But she says she isn't going back. And then it cuts back to Silver Team. And Vanek is like, we need Chief back in the fight. Which, Kai didn't do anything to get him back. Except, like, well, she does. But at first she's just like, Chief, we need you.
Yeah.
It's like, what did that do? It's like, good job, Kai. You're doing great. But then... McKee says they belong, like, on Halo. I'm assuming that's what she meant. She says they belong here, so I'm assuming that means on Halo. And that's why the Keystone led them to each other. And then John tells her to let go. And then Kai does the thing.
You want to take it away?
Yeah. Kai shoots the blessed one.
Yeah. And you see it on Halo. You see blood forming on her chest, and then John starts freaking out, and then cuts back to the Covenant planet, or whatever you want to call it.
Rest in peace, the blessed one.
She's down. Yep.
I don't know how I feel about this. I really like this is something. See, I like the blessed one. I think we all like her for different reasons. She blesses us every episode.
Some more than others.
Yeah. But most of the time, and I think the actress does a really good job just for the character in general. I don't like that I understand why they killed her, but then also I don't like it. Because I thought you could have used her for, like, she could have turned back, like, gone back with the humans and, like, switched sides, and I think that's kind of cool. Where, like, it's always cool when there's, like, a redemption kind of arc thing where, you know, they're on one side and go back to the other. But then also, like, I didn't like the relationship of John and McKee, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is where we're at. And then she's just dead.
Yeah. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. At the end of this, we're going to, after we do our HOD review for this episode, we're going to do kind of a recap of think about the series overall.
Yeah.
I feel like, for my feelings on it, I'll kind of wait for that because I feel like it would go make sense as a overall message for it. Next thing I had was Kai getting stuck by the plasma grenade. Do you have anything before that?
Actually, so while the artifact is being touched, the star map to Halo is like in the sky.
Oh, is that where it was?
Yeah,
okay.
It starts there
spot
because John says McKee no, because I feel like he knows that it's revealing the star map to the Prophets, which also the Prophets are just sitting there. They're chilling the whole time. Not one bullet is fired at the Prophets.
Yeah. They should have done the Halo Easter egg that I talked about where Chief jumps on their little pod and just starts punching them.
Yeah.
Doom. Yeah, I definitely have the star map in the wrong spot because that's a big part because that's what we talked about a few times is that that's their whole point of trying to not let them figure out the location of Earth because they still don't know where to find humans at. They don't know where to find home planets. So it starts revealing it. They don't end up seeing where the humans are. At least it doesn't imply that they do. It seems like other planets in there haven't gotten there yet.
Right. I do have they do say the star map to Halo is complete. So I don't know. At least I'm pretty sure they said that. I have it in here. So
yeah, you watched more than I did. Somebody missed that.
The Prophets say that after Kai shoots the blessed one. Rest in peace again. I'm really sad about it, actually. I'll miss her. Hashtag the blessed one forever.
Yeah, so that's a big moment. Anything before the stick?
Oh man, this is rough. Poor Riz.
Was it Riz? I thought it was Kai.
It was Riz.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a grunt throws a plasma grenade that sticks to her shoulder. And Kai kind of runs over, I feel like, to try and get it off.
Yeah.
But Kai shoots the grunt also that threw it. So, by grunt.
Yeah, I had the wrong name in here. I know it's Riz based off of something that happens later.
Yeah. Yeah. But the grenade goes off and torn the like, okay. In the game, though, if you get stuck by one of those things, you're dead.
Yeah.
In this, I guess it just destroys your flesh.
Well, it seems dependent, too, because when Quan Hai used one, unless that wasn't a plasma grenade, we still don't know, but it looked very similar. That guy just was straight gone.
Yeah. I mean, is it the armor? It obviously broke some of the armor because she's like, her arm is like fried.
Yeah, that could be what they say. That could be their excuse.
I was just like, but then also Kai like jumps right near her. And Kai is not, she's kind of stunned, but she's not knocked like Riz. And Riz is in pain. But also Vanek, he's down too. I forget what exactly happens to him, but he gets hit. So he's just laying on the ground.
Yeah. And then you hear Cortana talking, and she says to take over my body.
Yeah. And as this is happening, Chief kind of realizes that he can't get the artifact and save the team because, you know, it's one or the other. All your team members are down, but he can't touch the artifact without, you know, he can't move when he touches it. So Cortana kind of points that out, And that's when he's like, Cortana, take over my body. And it's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, she says, I may not be able to bring you back. And then Master Chief says, I trust you. And,
but also he just kind of, so he's getting shot at. His shields go down. And he fires one bullet at a brute that hits the brute in the face. And obviously the brute's like, what the heck, man? I'm mad at you now.
Yeah.
And he takes a full hit from a gravity hammer.
Yeah.
Which, if you've played the games, you know a full hit from a gravity hammer, you're dead.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they lowered the power level on the gravity hammers, or the brute only hit him at half strength, or what was going on there, but...
Yeah, it definitely seems to be more of them changing the rules of the game, pun intended, because as we talked about, plasma grenade still kills a Spartan even with their armor in the game,
right?
And in this, it appears that that's enough to protect you, if not save you.
Yeah, but yeah, so he just takes a full hit from the gravity hammer. He's laying on the ground, and then we see Cortana hologram, and she says this line. When the game is over, the king and the pawn go back in the same box. And then you kind of see her, she touches Chief, and then she kind of just goes inside the armor.
Yeah. And then kind of powers back on from there. Yeah, the first shot you're talking about from Master Chief, that was the only part that was really awkward to me. I don't know if they didn't realize that they did like as a like actual war movie. And it was like his last shot, one-handed rifle.
Yeah.
What the hell? That looks so weird. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, and he just shot the brute's like mouth off, and the brute was just like spit blood and just came at him. Same brute that hit him in the one episode where he had the little shield.
Yeah.
For some reason. That brute's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
He's got a high kill count.
And then after she takes control of her Chief, next thing I had was them back in the Pelican. Do you have anything for that?
Oh, I just have, there's some epic-ass fighting that happens before the Pelican. She has 2 plasma pistols. Well, I guess is it Cortana? It's Cortana.
Yeah.
In Chief's body. So Cortana's in Chief's body.
Yeah.
And she has the 2 plasma pistols. She's shooting in front of her, behind her.
Yeah, finally get dual wielding. I didn't know how to do that.
And she is wrecking with the 2 plasma pistols, and she just is like destroying them, like probably better than what Chief could do. Because I don't know if Chief can shoot behind his back and still hit something. So Cortana's very efficient, and she gets the. Are they using a Pelican? Is that what they're using? So she also controls the Pelican. It starts just mowing down Covenant, and then she picks up the artifact and just walks out.
Yep. And then the rest of the Silver Team goes with them.
Still no shots fired at the Prophets.
Yeah.
They're all just sitting there watching. Prophets are just like, get us our lemonade, because I think that's what they've been doing the whole series. So they got their lemonade. They're watching the fight. They're having a good time. No one takes a shot at them.
Yeah.
That's a big problem I have with that scene. Everything else was so awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, why is no one shooting at the Covenant leadership?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know about you, but if I saw them, I'd be like, they're the first people we're killing.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm with you. I think that's probably just one of those dumb story things that you're like, well, we need them more, so...
Can't just kill them.
Yeah.
It's just like, they're just sitting. Like, they're like 10 feet in the air just watching the fight.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a little force field that we don't know about.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. They got some ray shields from Star Wars. They're just hanging out up there.
So then we see all the Silver Team in the Pelican, and you get to see Riz injury up close.
Woo. Yeah.
Like kind of her shoulder-ish, but mainly her ribs are all exposed and bloody and not looking good.
It's disgusting. It was nasty.
It didn't gross me out at all, but it was another... They just seem to pick and choose when to go wild with a show and when to just make it a normal sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Or the one's just like, nah, it's Saul out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, Jesus, okay.
Like, woo, they like blood.
Yeah, because not only is she giant open wound, but then we'll heal you, don't worry. And they pull out like this torch-looking thing.
Yeah.
We're just gonna cook you here. And
Cortana just grabs it and is like, yeah. She's just screaming, and I'm like, woo, poor Riz.
And then she stops, whatever you want to say. And then Vanek's like, it's okay, I got you. Now I'm gonna fucking freeze it. I was, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Halsey on Reach. It looks like still.
Is it? I think it's Reach.
That makes sense too, because everybody thinks she's gone, but she's not. So could get away with a lot more. Well, she thinks they don't know. They do now. And he's talking to some random guy. I feel like he might be the next stand-in Aiden, it seemed like. Because I don't know. Like. Yeah.
Halsey likes to keep him around. You know what I'm saying.
He says there's a ship that's leaving soon for her. And she had some dialogue, I'm not sure.
I have a little bit. I don't have the whole thing. But she has a line that says, our species is not equipped for what comes next. And then she thinks the Halo weapon will provide the key to humanity's evolution, and they will achieve transcendence.
I was like, shit, they said the episode?
Yep. I actually didn't even catch it.
Oh, really?
Except the third time, then I caught it.
And they should have just had it be the corny last line, but then it cut to, not really, it just would have been funny. It cut back to the Pelican. And Chief's acting very robotic. And then Kai says, John, is that you? And kind of pans to him, and he just like looks away from her. And then it ends. Season 1.
Yeah. That, yeah. So the Halsey line before that, is basically a monologue. I know she talks about how there's been many sacrifices also, and there'll be more to come. So, it's an interesting... Halsey is still around and kicking. But the ending, is John still alive?
I mean, I think at this point he's not, but I feel like you gotta bring him back, because if you don't, I feel like that makes it even weirder that you casted this guy and build up a whole season of making sure you show his face, because now you have no reason not to just have the voice actor, because if John's dead, then you don't need to see this human face because there's no emotion to it. It's a dead body, and it's controlled by an AI, which it'd be very jarring. But if they're going to do that, it'd be cool if Steve Downs, the voice actor, just came back. Yeah. He's like, now I'm Master Chief.
Yep.
And
I just think... I don't like the decision to do this. To just have Cortana take over his body without having the option of bringing him back. And which she says, I don't know if I'll be able to bring you back. Yeah. So I think they left it open for Cortana to maybe figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I think... And the fact that he said, it's okay, I trust you.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be probably the first few episodes of next season or with how they stretch those stuff out, maybe the whole second season of him coming back to life or finding a way to get him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that line, and like I said, the whole build-up of the season is kind of counterproductive and weird. So I feel like he's not a huge actor, but he's a known name. I feel like to get him and then just have him killed off with that and then have all these hints at that,
yeah,
I just can't see that happening. I feel like he'll be back. And I think their goal of doing that is that they're trying to make it like the games where if you play the first Halo, a lot of people thought he actually was a robot. They didn't realize that he was like a super soldier because he was just like so robotic acting. Yes, I need the weapon. I'll do this. And just like no real motion, just army guy that says the lines.
Right.
And I feel like they're kind of overcompensating for that and trying to make it her in control. So he's literally just, I feel like they're trying to lead up to that first game. And I feel like that's what it's going to be, is that he is just like an emotionless thing that Cortana controls.
Huh.
Which, if they do that for a short period of time, I think that'd be cool because that's how Halo started.
Right.
But I feel like there's a reason Halo evolved, Halo Combat evolved. Great game. But I feel like that was one of the main criticisms of Halo, and that's why he became more of a character and had way more dialogue. Is because everybody's like, this guy's just a generic soldier that just says lines and
in a rubber duck suit.
Yeah. And has no emotion, and Cortana's kind of more of a character than he is.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're trying for, but like I said, I hope if that's the case, it doesn't go on too long.
I hope it's not long.
Yeah.
Because I don't hate John, as he's a interesting fellow for sure. But we finally we're kind of attached, and then he's just emotionless again. Like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, and I feel like building up these other Spartans and mainly Kai's connection to him would also be pointless because they wouldn't have a connection to him, and they don't really even care about Cortana. They don't know anything really. So, yeah, I feel like that's why I'd be shocked if he's just straight up dead and not coming back. I could be wrong, but
I mean, we could see in the first episode of season 2, just Chief's back, like John's back.
Yeah,
I think I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Should we get into our review overall, or not overall of this episode?
Episode review? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I can't remember who went first last time.
I have no idea.
You can pick.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So this episode. Okay, so I liked it, and overall, I think it's a good episode. And so the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know if I liked it as a season finale. I was like, huh. Second time, I was like, okay, I like it more. I watched it again today, and I was like, okay, it kind of holds up. Like, it feels very like the video game, and the action's really good, and the beginning just kicks off with some running, like literally, and but it starts running, and I don't think it stops. There's no pacing problems. I think it's very straightforward. There's questions at the end, but as far as like plot, it's not confusing or anything. You can follow it easily. Yeah. And the action scene was incredible from the time they fall out of the Pelican to that moment forward. The only thing I didn't like was they didn't shoot the prophets. That was the only thing I disliked about that. And just the whole Cortana taking over, I have some questions about. But I don't think there's a part in this episode that I disliked. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
So, for overall Haas, I'm going to give it 8.5.
Okay. That's fair.
So, close to the first episode.
Yeah. The pilot's still your favorite?
I think the pilot is still my favorite, and it's just that first 15 minutes of the pilot episode it's fantastic. It's a great introduction to the series. So. Yeah, I liked the last episode, but I don't like it as much as the pilot.
I gotcha. Okay. I love this episode. It's not perfect, as you heard criticism I had, but if you might notice, there are a lot less this time. I think it was paced really well. I liked that. I liked how even when there wasn't nonstop action, you didn't care because it seemed like stuff was happening. I feel like I said, that's been the issue a lot with this show.
Yeah, there wasn't random details.
Yeah, just nonsense happening. And I am sad we didn't talk about it generally, that this was 48 minutes, which I think there's only a few episodes shorter. It was paced well, but at the same time, I was really hoping for a blowout, even if it wasn't even like an hour episode, something like that.
Yeah, it was quick. It was a quick episode.
Yeah, not only was it not the longest, it was, like I said, only a few shorter than this, which is sad.
I think the pilot is actually the longest episode.
I think so.
I think it was like 56 minutes.
Yeah. I think this is definitely an episode that had their helmets on the most and their uniforms on the most.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, this feels the most like the game so far, which I don't think is coincidence. That's why I probably like this one the most so far. I definitely have questions and some small criticisms. The blessed one dying, I'll get into that now.
It's rough.
I'm personally sad because obviously we play it up, but our affection for her. But then, even aside from that and playing it up, I do think she's a good actress, and I like her, but at the same time, I don't have an issue with it, actually, aside from those things, because I feel like they're slowly, I feel like they're doing everything backwards, but they're slowly starting to take away the things that were less Halo.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I feel like maybe that's why now they're going maybe a little too far with it, with Cortana being John, which wasn't even the game, but like I said, the fact that he's supposed to be like a robotic soldier.
Right.
And like Aiden's gone, not that he was major, but he was just nothing, didn't feel like Halo at all.
Just creepy.
The Blessed One's gone. I do think, I feel like there's a chance she still comes back, but like I said, I would be okay. As much as I like her, I'd be sad to not be able to look anymore.
Rest in peace, the Blessed One.
I would be okay if she was gone, because I feel like it would feel more like Halo, but I also am not confident that she's actually gone. I definitely, John's the one I think has the most chance coming back. I think she has a chance to come back. I think Vinsher, as we go on, has less of a chance to come back. Aiden,
Forgot about him, to be honest.
Again, I thought he was a good actor and he was cool, but again, if the more I see the show being more like Halo, the more I'm like, that stuff I don't feel differently than I did before. It still was well done, the things I liked, but the more I'm like, yeah, this was not like Halo, and that's why felt like kind of disconnected, even though a lot of it was well done.
Yeah.
So the less of that in the way, I think the better. If Aiden comes back as a zombie, that would be pretty dope. No, I think there's no chance Aiden comes back.
Aiden's dead.
Yeah.
He's very dead. He crashed in the ship, too. So his death, even if he survived that head trauma that he received, he's dead.
Yeah. I like seeing, like I said, all the grunts, the major battle. The first person was, I think, done for the first time well, in my opinion. The dual wielding from Halo 2, I think that was intentional to get that in there.
Yeah.
Seeing some different weapons again. I think it's weird that we didn't see the Spartan laser, because I feel like it that seemed like a foreshadowing thing, though. Like they're going to drop it in at the last second and use it or something. And I feel like a lot of people will be like, well, this is just the first season. You can't exhaust everything. But Halo has fucking almost limitless things that they can do that they could have used everything from the first couple of games and still had plenty of work with.
Yeah.
Especially if we go up to Infinite and Halo Wars or the books. I mean,
there's so much.
Yeah, so I feel like they're like holding back because they don't want to overdo it, but I think they're going to a little too far with it. And what else are they going to say? There's something that else I was surprised that they didn't do. Oh, this is a pretty major one, the name of the show. Halo, still the only time we've seen it, is like this, I don't know what you call it, if it's heaven, if it's the in-between, purgatory.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's a place, which I think is real weird to have an entire season of Halo without, I mean,
Halo?
They were on Halo, but I don't even know if that's really what Halo is going to be, then it's fucking lame as shit, but I'm sure it's actually going to be something. But
yeah, it has to be.
You land on Halo, I know I said it on here, but the second episode, or the second level of the entire series, and we finished the entire season without actually being on Halo. Yeah. So I still don't know if I don't know if, even though we've seen Halo, I don't know if that's true of Halo, and I don't even know if they're actually on Halo. I don't know what the hell that is, so I think that's nuts.
It's a hangout zone for the Blessed One and Master Chief.
Where nobody can see what they're doing.
Oh, man. The Blessed One's giving out blessings again.
So I know that was a bit of rambling, but like I said, I feel like this is the most I've had to say about an episode. And when that all kicked in and it felt like Halo, the battles, the weapons, the music especially, the dialogue, just everything, I was like grinning. I was like, man. And I still feel like even then that wasn't the true potential of what Halo can be, and it was that good. That's why I feel like as much as some of this stuff is sad to see go, I feel like the less in the way, the more potential Halo has, which I think is still its biggest thing it has going for is the potential that it has left in it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. This was my favorite episode. I'd say 9.5.
Woo!
I was thinking, I was like, I might like the pilot more, but then I was thinking about it, as cool as that first fight scene was and how unexpected it was, I think it still holds up. I still like it just as much, but I think kind of rose-colored glasses for me comparing it to this. That it was so unexpected, and it was the first time I saw it that I was blown away.
Yeah.
But I feel like this definitely felt more like the game. That was more like a war movie, which was fucking awesome. Like I said, I still feel the same way I do about that, but comparing this one for one with this, I think this battle is much cooler to me since it felt more like the game, and as cool as that blood was, and also definitely the CGI looking much better. And I'm not even a CGI snob, but
yeah,
that was distracting. And this one, I didn't think about it, which I think, like I said, that's what good CGI didn't have to stand out and be amazing. It just shouldn't be distracting, and I think that's what it did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's close to the pilot for me. Like, it's
a
0.5 lower.
Oh, me too. I had 9. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking the first one. I kind of mind battling myself. I think this is my favorite episode. So then I was trying to think back. And I was like, yeah, I think all those reasons why I think I would.
Yeah.
I also had episode 5 and 9. I think that 5 must be the
5
the
is
battle.
5 is the episode with the battle,
which is probably another sign. I have my 2 that are over 8 are 1, 5, and 9. All big battles and all, I think, closest to the game, even though I think 1 and 5 definitely stray away from more at certain parts.
Yeah, and we can get into the series ranking, I guess, now. So the season 1 was a mixed bag because, like you said, I think episode 5 I gave a 7 because I liked it, but also I had some problems, which if you want to know what problems I had, go back and listen to episode 5 review. But episode 1 was good. Episode 2 was the Rubble episode with Crazy Man. That one was I was up in the air about that one. I can look and see what I gave it. I think I gave it 5.
So I have it.
Yeah.
I put all mine here.
Let me see. Yeah, I gave that one 5. Homecoming was episode 4. And I gave that one a 6.
Me too.
Episode 6. I think this one was all over the place. It was that one where John was having his flashbacks and was kind of going crazy. He was injured and was ignoring it. That great episode. Again, you can listen to all our commentary in episode 6 if you want a full recap.
And then you can also comment your hot reviews there if you missed them.
Yeah, you can give us
these old episodes.
Yeah, I think I gave this one a 6. Also, actually, I didn't put that one down, but I know it wasn't above 6. The only ones that were above 6 were 1, 5, and 9. And I think last week, I gave last week. I put it in here. Maybe. Well, 7 I gave 6. 8 I gave 7.5, I believe. Last week's episode.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So there's only 4 episodes that I gave past a 6. So as like a whole, I like the series, or like I like it so far. But there's parts that I disliked. Kwan Ha being a big one. And also, we didn't see any of her in episode 9 or 8. And there's this portal thing that's supposed to connect, so maybe we'll see that next season. Kwan Ha I didn't like. I think she's a useless character. The showrunners disagree, as we saw in the after show. But if I gave the series the Haas, I think I'd give it a 6.5 Haas out of 10.
Okay.
And that's because there weren't enough episodes above 6 Haas to go like higher. Like there's only, those 4 episodes out of 9.
Yeah.
So, and like there was one, I think that was a 4, the Kwan Ha episode, just because it didn't feel like Halo. Not that it's a terrible episode, just didn't feel like Halo. And yeah, I'm going 6.5 for season 1.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair. I realized I kind of got ahead of myself when I was reviewing episode 9, kind of just went into my overall review. But so that kind of connects. You can kind of blend some of that together. But I was going to add Quan Ha and the portal thing. I said last week I thought that would come back into play this week. It obviously did not. I know you said you think next season.
Yeah.
There's a couple of feelings I have. I don't like when people create stuff and then abandon it based off of hate or negative feedback.
Yeah.
Unless there's a true reason to get rid of something. But that's one of my biggest issues with Infinite, even though I like it without spoiling it. There's a enemy type that was in Halo 4 and 5, and they introduce as like the next big thing, and then it's just non-existent in Infinite. And as far as I can tell, there's no reason why they don't, aside from everybody said how they suck and I hated them. And I was like, that seems kind of like you're not even sticking to what you believed in.
Yeah.
So where I'm mixed though is normally I feel that way, but like I said, I feel like they did so much diversion in this show that was unnecessary. That would be okay if they just abandoned some things. It would be weird because they built up so much with Quan Ha, but at the same time I think it was unnecessary. I'd be okay if that is one of those times to go away from it. I wouldn't even complain. Yeah, and just I feel like the Halo dialogue or the Halo storyline that they seem to be aiming at would be a lot more appealing than whatever's happening with that. I do think it still definitely could come back, and what I think is gonna happen maybe, and I hope not, I think this portal might be a way to get John back or the Blessed One or Aiden. Not really Aiden. But
we need him.
Yeah, I think a portal out of nowhere like that, and the fact they made it seem like some ancient thing, I feel like bring life back. Or I really hope it doesn't, not a multi-dimension thing. I get that everyone's doing it now. It's cool that it works in some things, but not everything needs to be like in multiverse all the time.
Yeah, no.
And Halo,
you can really mess up if you go into multiverse, and Halo is not something.
Yeah, and Halo has so much working for it that it doesn't need that. So
right.
Not the other things that have it don't work on their own. But I really hope they don't go that route. I do think it's possible that they'll use it as a way to bring people back, which it'd be kind of silly, but I guess at least that, like I said, on the other hand, they stuck to following through with what they want. So that's probably the only thing I'd add overall, because like I said, I kind of mix my reviews together. But I will say, the reason I could list all my episodes is I did an average score based off all my other reviews to get my total score. And this isn't a joke. This is what came up. 6.9.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I actually think is dead on, too. As high as I've been on the show at times and how much I'm excited to watch, which is rare for shows now.
Yeah.
I think it's good to really good. There's obviously, I'm saying like as a whole, it's fucking terrible to really entertaining if you're judging it, but I'm saying like as a whole, I think if you're reviewing it, it'd be like good to really good. And like I said, I think a 6 is a good, a 7's really good. So I think 6.9 is perfect for overall. And then like I said, I think the biggest boom for it is that the potential is so much higher than that. I just hope they can hit it with season 2, which is confirmed. So hopefully that happens. I think, unfortunately, even with it being confirmed, I don't think we're close to it, because big shows, when they end, it's usually like at least a year till it happens again, which is sad. But
sad, because I just want to know what's going to happen next. And I think the season 1 was a really good introduction also for people that haven't played the Halo games.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't played the games, then you don't really have a standard of what Halo should be. So the parts that they put in that were the most Halo-like were great for introductions.
Yeah.
To people, and maybe those people will play the games and, learn more about Halo and read the books and just dive more into the Halo world.
Yeah.
But I think overall it's really enjoyable. I liked watching episodes week to week. It was like my favorite. Thursday was my favorite day of the week for 9 weeks.
I'm with you.
Just like, I can't wait till Thursday. Like, actually for this episode specifically, as soon as I woke up, I fired on Halo and watched it. And my brother did the same. So
very nice.
Watched it together, and it was fun. we watched some episodes together. We didn't watch all of them, but we talked about them, so that was cool too.
Oh yeah.
And then the watch parties were fun. I didn't get to go to all of them, but that was really fun. So
I agree.
It's a solid first season. Wouldn't say it knocks it out of the, like, it's not a 10. Didn't do everything amazing, but for the parts that were well done, they did a good job. And I feel like season 2 could be even better if they
definitely has potential at least.
Yeah. If they really give us like the full blown war between the Covenant and UNSC, which I feel like that last episode kind of is building towards that.
Yeah.
As far as this artifact and, you know, what's going on with Chief, and the Covenant are probably really pissed that happened, because if I was the Covenant, I'd be mad. They just walked into our planet and grabbed the artifact. Kind of sucks. You would think, though, that, because they kind of made it like, oh, they're just flying away. You would think the Covenant would have ships and go after them.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe season 2, episode 1, space battle. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Maybe, just fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely would recommend this show.
Oh yeah.
To people.
I'm with you.
So yeah, it was good.
All right. Like I said, we're probably at least a year away from Halo Season 2. Also can't plan anything yet, but hopefully the plan is to do this every week like we did with Season 1.
Yeah.
But until then, we want to fill more content and be able to keep doing stuff. I am still trying to figure out our regular shows, things we shouldn't admit, current backloggers, Pigskin Over Pizza, to hopefully get all those going here soon. So those aren't banned. I just got to figure out what's going on. But me and Aaron have an idea to review every video game movie made.
Yeah. And it's going to be fun. So we're not going anywhere. We got more content, and that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And I shouldn't say review. It's going to be different than this. We're not going to break it down bit by bit. We're kind of going to do overall thoughts. We're going to watch a movie either together or on our own, and then take notes here and there, like our favorite parts, details about the movies, and then kind of discuss it slightly.
Yeah, we're still kind of working on the details overall, but
yeah,
we'll have some stuff, some fun, like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully get that started in the next couple weeks, and then we also have an idea for some of the movies, maybe the worst movies, because some of these we already know, we've seen and we know are bad. Other ones that we don't, I feel like we should give a fair shot unless we know they're like truly terrible without watching them, because I know there's some that I already know are bad without seeing them.
Yeah.
But we're thinking about, if you've ever seen Riff Tracks, they do commentary over movies, and they're fucking hilarious because they're actual comedians. So we're not going to be that. Ours kind of, hopefully we can be funny, but
we'll try. We'll do our best.
Yeah, kind of talk over it, and even if it's not comedy, just kind of talk over it. But it'll just be audio. Probably put it on YouTube and podcast, but it'd be a audio format, even on YouTube with a picture or whatever. And then you, in theory, start that up the same time you're starting your movie, and then it syncs with it. So then you can hear us while you're watching these terrible movies.
Yeah.
Not that video game movies get a bad rap. I'm not saying these movies are terrible. I'm saying, like I said, we would pick certain ones to do that with.
Yeah, there's some that are pretty bad.
Oh yeah,
but it'll just be fun. Some of the newer ones are actually really good.
Yeah,
like Sonic 1 and 2 are really good.
Speaking of which, we've been hyping up Paramount Plus because of Halo. Sonic 2 just got added.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus, perfect time. We're ending Halo. We're talking about starting a video game movie review, and worlds collide.
Yeah. And definitely recommend Sonic if you played the games.
Oh yeah,
they do a really good job of making it feel like the game.
Yeah.
So, like, Sonic 2 was really good, and eventually we'll probably do a review on Sonic 2 because it's one of the more successful video game movies.
Yeah, it'll be a while till we get to that because we're gonna try and start on the earliest ones, which is, from what I saw, Mario was the first movie, and then work our way up to current day, and I guess at this point, future days, by the time we probably get caught up, because there'll be movies that come out that we're not caught up yet by.
Yeah, and if you've seen Super Mario Brothers, it's rough, but if you want to watch with us, it's appreciated. I think it'd be fun. You could do we can come up with a review system for Mario, or you can just say how bad it was, or
yeah,
we can. That's a bad movie, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Well, this Friday, it's a really big show coming out, Kenobi. It's gonna be really fun. I'm super pumped for it. 2 episodes also.
Yep.
So if you are a Star Wars fan, get your Kenobi gear out. Darth Vader too. If you've watched the trailer, it's gonna be amazing. I'm hoping. I think it's gonna be good.
I think it will.
But do you have a favorite Obi-Wan moment? I have one. I can go first. Revenge of the Sith, the end battle, when Anakin gets his legs chopped off. Obi-Wan has like his dialogue. Says you were my that one, but then when he's
that's
like,
what I was gonna pick.
yeah, hey, it's a good moment. But he says you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you, and he's just all sad because like his best friend and someone that he's looked after for so long and fought with just went from a really good person to Vader.
Yeah.
So that would be totally devastating, and Obi-Wan was hurt the whole time, and even though Anakin's screaming, I hate you, he's still, I loved you. So that's my favorite Obi-Wan moment.
I should have went first, so you're probably going to pick something totally different. I'm safe. Now it seems like, yeah, that one.
High ground moment, too. I have the high ground.
Yeah.
There's so many great high ground memes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I won't lie, that part is well done at the end, and I don't hate the prequels, as you know, like a lot of people do. But I feel like I've not reenacted, I wasn't a Star Wars kid, but quoted and acted that scene out so much of The Chosen One and him doing that. Now it's kind of like a meme in my head that I can't take it seriously at all. That I just find it very entertaining. And that's not even being a hater of the prequels, like I said.
Oh, I love the prequels.
Yeah.
So there's so many good prequel memes. I feel like they turned into memes, which made it even better. It just ages it so great.
Yeah.
And just the lightsaber battles in the prequels, I think, are the best. And hello there, obviously that's a great Obi-Wan moment. But maybe we'll get that in the show. So just more fun stuff to watch if you're a Star Wars fan, since Halo's over. And Stranger Things also comes out Friday. So there's a lot of cool stuff to watch.
Yeah.
We're sad that Halo's over, but
very.
We'll be tided over with some other stuff.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, well, like I said, if you could like this video, appreciate it. Comment, let us know your hot reviews for the season finale and for the overall as a season, what you thought of it. You can even mix them together like I did, like a fool. Yeah. And if you could subscribe, share, all that jazz, it'd be appreciated.
And give us your ship names.
Oh, yeah,
for
that too.
McJohn.
Newest McDonald's product.
Yeah. All McDonald's, right. If you want to sponsor the current backloggers, let us know.
Family friendly for sure.
Yeah.
Ronald would love this.
Yes, he would.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
Dolphin Dive High Five.
Oh, yeah.
See you later.
See you later.